What's up, this is LaserBolt, and welcome to today's video, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at Biomutant's classes, and we're going to explain what are the best classes to choose and what classes actually tie into what specific breeds, and if you're picking a breed, what class you should go with, which one works best. So if all of this sounds like something you're definitely interested, a like would be greatly appreciated, and let's talk about Biomutant and its 5 different classes. There are a total of 5 classes to choose from in Biomutant. Each come with its own unique abilities that will affect your gameplay in some way or another. These classes are the following. We have Deadeye, Commando, Scythe Freak, Saber Tar, and Sentinel. So we're going to be diving in today, taking a look at each one individually. We're going to be talking about what class works best with what breed and which ones synergize perfectly. If you haven't seen my breed video, highly recommend you guys check it out because that's going to be the start of the game. It's going to have you pick up a breed. So once you have your breed selected, then you're going to be given the option to select the classes. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. Which classes work with what specific breed and which classes actually have a kind of a desired playstyle. So let's get started with the first one. So the first class we're going to be talking about is called Deadeye. Now this is probably the easiest class to actually get a grasp of because it is kind of just narrows it down very basic. Deadeye is for players that plan to use ranged weapons and use critical hits as their primary source of damage. So if you're looking to play this game mostly gunplay and you're looking to do a ton of damage, not so close of a distance where you're going to be meleeing people, but you're going to be doing more of like shooting from afar, and you want to make sure you're critting and your aim is on a point, then this is definitely the class you want to go with. This particular class will feature precise weapons and should pair excellent with players that excel in agility and dexterity. So if you feel like you're going to be very agile moving around the battlefield, landing them shots, landing the headshots, it is really important due to the fact that this class is going to focus on ranged weapons. It is going to be ideal also for players who like to mod weapons because it fits almost with any combat scenario. Remember, in the game, you'll be able to mod the weapon you're currently using. You'll be able to put a kind of, different perks and different stats to those weapons. And this particular build will tie in perfectly because, you're going to definitely want to get a weapon and you want to apply extra crit chance, then that weapon's going to become even more powerful. And paired with the Deadeye, it is definitely a must one to have. So now I know the question you're asking is, Laser, what breed ties in perfectly with this particular class? Of course, the ones that are going to tie in perfectly are breeds that specialize in ranged weapon, and that's going to be Primal, Hyla, and Murgle. These are the 3 main breeds that I feel are going to tie in perfectly with the Deadeye class. And if you still don't know what the breeds are, highly recommend you check out my video. All right, so the next class we're going to be taking a look at is called the Commando class. Now, this particular class, guys, its ability is called Fury, which increases all ranged weapon damage to their target by 10%. Now, this particular class is pretty interesting because that sounds really awesome, but actually the Commando class has a less critical chance than all the other classes but the Saber Tar. So you would think that the Commando class would have a really high crit chance just because of the name and of its awesome ability, but it does not. It actually is a little bit different. Now, this particular class is going to be ideal for ranged weapon users. Like I said, once again, that 10% is going to be very exponential, very helpful. Instead of focusing on being a hard-hitting class, like the first one we talked about, which is Deadeye, this class primarily focuses on you being a fast player that will learn to strategize before actually taking the shot. It's going to be very important that you make sure you do calculated fight techniques to make sure that you over excel when it comes to picking this class. It's not going to be the hardest hitting class. It's just going to be one of those classes that you're going to want to make sure that when you land that shot, it's actually going to be doing a ton of damage. Because this class also seems to center very much around buffs for the allies and banes for villains. So it's going to be really important that you strategize when you buff and debuff the character and then follow up with that shot. So Commando is going to be more of a strategic class for you guys to use from. I personally think that the breeds that are going to be very helpful or very going to take full advantage of the Commando class are going to be Primal, Hyla, and Murgle once again. The next class we're going to be talking about is the Scythe Freaks. Now, this is a very interesting class, guys, because this particular class has the same critical chance increase that the Deadeye does, but they also gain a ability called Spark Ball. Now, this particular ability will allow them to throw a lightning ball in any given direction, damaging the enemies in its path. In addition to that, it also gains the Mega Mind, which increases the Chi energy regen by increasing it 20%. This is a very interesting class, and it's the class that I'm actually rolling with. Now, this particular class is going to be a very jack of all trades class, because not only do you get the benefit of the critical chance, but you also get 2 abilities when actually using this. You're going to be able to manipulate energy around you, and you're also going to be able to cast special unique abilities, which makes this kind of a very powerful build. Not only do you have the power of your gun, but you also have the power of magic and abilities. The primary method of actually inflicting damage is going to center primarily in critical hits and strategically timing those with your abilities. So you're going to want to make sure you pop your ability and give that buff or debuff on your ability, or get that, that damage or that freeze effect on the enemy, and then turn to your weapon, hit him with that bing bada bam, and apply as much damage as you possibly can. This particular class is going to be functioning very well with players who love to have strategy and also like to make sure that they use their abilities to plan that strategy and have a very high skill level. Now, there are 3 breeds that are going to be benefiting a lot from this particular class, and that is going to be Psionic, Pip, and Rex. These are the 3 breeds that I feel like are going to be very favorable for this particular class, and one of the classes that actually stands out more than the others. Next class we're going to be taking a look at is Saber Tar. Now, Saber Tar does not get a bonus from critical chance, but instead has the ability called Twin Silver Grip, which is going to allow this class to dual wield one-handed melee weapons. So you want to get double wielding weapons, and this is going to be the advantage. This is going to be the main advantage of this weapon. So you're going to be getting those double hits. They also get an ability called Hypergenetics, which is going to reduce their dodge energy cost by 20%. So it's going to make it very agile, and it's also going to be able to dual wielding weapons. I think primarily this particular class is more of your like ninja rogue agent type of class that works very good with melee combat, and are the only character that's going to be able to once again do that dual wielding weapons, which is actually pretty dope. While they lack consistently heavy damage, so it's not going to be a class that you're going to go in there and just go bam and I hit him really hard, get that nice crit shot. It's going to be one of those weapons that you're going to have to do multiple hits, but since you have 2 weapons, you're going to be doing a lot of damage as well. But one of the biggest advantages that they have is that they're very difficult to target due to the fact of that dodge ability and being able to move around the battlefield very quickly. That's why I like to kind of compare them to the rogue ninja type class that's going to be very stealthy and go kill the opponent very easily, because you're going to be very evasive, and it's going to be perfect for getting those defeat on those enemies without getting detected. In addition to that, guys, I think that this class in particular is going to be able to pair very well with the Primal, Sumden, and Hyla breeds. These are going to be the ones that are going to be taking a huge advantage of this particular class. The last class we're going to be taking a look at is called Sentinel. The Sentinel has the highest crit chance of any class in Biomutant. So if you're looking for a high crit chance class, this is definitely the one you want to go with. They also gain an ability called Toughness. Now, this ability will increase their armor, making them very hard to kill. Now, since the Sentinel does not excel at any particular type of combat, they are perfect for the player who wants to retain the flexibility of using any particular playstyle or weapon that they want to pick. They're not tied to a melee weapon or a specific gun. It's just pretty much a very rounded class. Now, this class pairs very well with almost any breed in the game, making them extremely flexible and making the choice very easy to pick. Now, this particular class is going to be ideal for people who have not yet decided how they want to play, how they want to use their abilities, or what kind of fighting techniques they want to use in the game. If they're trying to come new to the game and learn the experience and want a jack of all trades class, this is definitely going to be the one you want to go with. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that this particular class will not fit any other breed. Like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be the class that's going to have every breed be able to be played. The good thing we like about this class is that you get that nice crit shot, and you also get that increase of armor, making it very playable for any particular playstyle. Overall, in general, guys, those are the 5 different classes in Biomutant. Now, these are going to be pairing well with the breeds. So if you haven't seen the breed video, I highly recommend you guys check that out. Now, in addition to that, guys, we will be covering more Biomutant as we get closer to the release. Next coverage is going to be going over the abilities and what you can expect out of those, and also going over the different types of resistance and hazards found in the game. So if you guys are enjoying our Biomutant coverage, do me a huge favor, guys, drop a comment, drop a like, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you guys won't miss our coverage. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.